Hey, hey,
Hey! Get it!
hey. Gang, 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 gang.
Gang.
Como te llamo? Slim, thick, mama wanna.
Okay.
I can put you in the zone.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Traveling Time back again with another video. Never mind that. Alright, so look. Right now we got another scary story, alright? I'm gonna watch this because, you know, I haven't seen a scary story in a long time. And honestly, nothing really scares me, so it don't matter. I'm not gonna waste no time. I'm gonna keep, you know, this little intro very short because this video is 10 minutes long and I ain't got that much patience. You ready? I'm ready. Alright.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN. More details at the end. Looking for a new roommate is always a daunting task. Even though you interview and take the time to get to know that person, you don't truly find out who they are until you start living with them.
I ain't never had a
I began
roommate.
searching for a roommate after I decided to leave my current residency. I was contacted a couple of hours after placing an ad on the Facebook Marketplace. The message read,
Hey Chris, I'll be moving out of my current apartment this August and I'm looking to room with someone new, as my roommates are moving to California this year.
Bro, his eyes big as hell.
When I'm not at school, I enjoy hiking and watching movies. I also apprentice at a taxidermy shop on the days I don't have class. Hope that's not weird. It's always been a fun hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Have a great day, Lunaire.
My first and most obvious reaction after reading the message was to check her profile.
Of course,
She was
bro.
a medium height, had long, messy blonde hair and green eyes. In her profile picture, I saw her standing with a man and a woman shoulder to shoulder. They each adorned goofy grins and held up peace signs.
This dude look bored
Under the
as hell.
photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates." I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message back. The sun beat down on us as we hoisted various objects to the second floor of our new apartment. It took us a couple days to get everything out of the moving trucks and into our new place, but as soon as we did, a wave of relief washed over our sweat-drenched and sore bodies. After a couple more hours of rearranging, we each grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat on the porch.
You already know
We
what's about to
reminisced about
happen.
old 90s cartoons and what
He
they
trying to
did when we started as kids.
slide.
And as the sun started to set, I truly felt relaxed and confident that things were going to work out. A week later, I started a new job for a construction company that was owned by a good friend of mine. As I was getting ready, I heard the front door swing
This
open.
dude threw on
I
Uggs.
walked into the living room to see Lunaire and her friend David sliding in a large box. "What you got there?" I asked. Through a strained grunt, she replied,
I bought a freezer to store some of the animals I'm planning on using in my taxidermy work.
Oh
I
nah.
hope that's
She
alright.
she gotta go.
I was obviously hesitant at first, as there
Oh,
was no
nah.
reason for this happening in the first place, but I eventually accepted and returned to my room to continue getting ready for
Oh
work.
nah.
I came home at around 9
If y'all don't know
p.m.
what
after
taxidermy
having
is,
a couple of beers with friends.
that's
and
when they be
noticed that the
stuffing the
freezer
dead
was nestled
animals.
snugly in the lower part of the pantry.
And dressing them up and
A
all
low
that.
hum could be
Ugh.
heard reverberating off of the inner walls. I was curious to see what was inside, but didn't want to intrude on Lunaire's business, so I went into my room and changed into more comfortable clothing. After changing,
I'm telling
I
you, his
came back
eyes
out
is
to the
big as
kitchen and
hell.
started making a sandwich. I opened the fridge and grabbed what I needed. As I turned around, I stubbed my toe on the edge of the countertop and let out a long, exasperated grunt. Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding.
Nah, your toe
As I
gone.
raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure. Lunaire was standing in the doorway leading to her room. The darkness behind her almost seemed to envelop her.
I'd have been like,
Is everything okay?
She
yeah.
said in a deadpan tone,
Yeah, you good?
"Shit, yeah, I'm sorry. I just slammed my toe into the corner of the countertop as I was making a sandwich. I hope I didn't wake you,"
It's fine.
she said, in the same deflated tone as before. She then turned around and walked back into the darkness of her room.
By the way, you gotta
Tell
go.
she was
Alright,
pissed.
she good.
I quietly made my sandwich and retreated back to my room as well, only hearing the low hum from the freezer as I closed my door. I had the next day off, so I was able to sleep in a little longer than usual.
Look how he walking. What is
When I finally
that?
emerged from my room, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast. As I opened the refrigerator, I noticed that the light wasn't turning on and there was a lack of cold air escaping from inside.
You gotta throw that away.
I turned around and flipped the light switch to confirm my suspicion. Sure enough, the power was out. Damn it, I muttered under my breath. I walked over to Lunaire's room and knocked on her door to tell her about the power outage if she didn't already know, but there was no answer. I then remembered that she had classes that day and probably wasn't home. I walked back to the kitchen and past the pantry. As I did, I slipped on the floor but was able to catch myself on the countertop. What the? I angrily exclaimed as I looked down at the floor trying to figure out what I had slipped on. It was blood. It had started to leak from the corner of the freezer and pool onto the floor. I quickly tried to open the freezer to find out the cause of the viscous liquid, but then I noticed that it had a padlock attached to it. I don't remember seeing that before. I ran out to my car and grabbed my toolbox from the back seat.
That's right. Pop it open.
I approached the freezer and set my tools down on the nearby countertop. I then pulled out a small pair of bolt cutters and snapped through the metal of the padlock. It fell
he
to
had
the
to do all
ground with
that.
a large thud. I creaked open the top of the freezer and was greeted with a putrid stench that permeated my nostrils. I quickly pinched my nose and walked away gagging in response. I guess I should have realized that was going to happen, I muttered to myself in between gags. After gaining my composure, I grabbed some gloves from under the sink and started taking inventory. I could see a couple of dead birds in plastic bags wedged into the corners of the freezer. I took each bag out and set them in the trash can nearby. That's when I noticed that the blood was coming from the corner of the larger black bag. I don't know why, but I decided to open the top of the bag and peer inside.
Why?
I was greeted by large, milky white eyes, swollen black tongue surrounded by cracked and bloated lips, and the matted hair of a human head. I swiftly dropped the bag and fell backwards onto the floor. My breathing had ceased to exist, and I grabbed the trash can next to me and expelled my disgust into it. I then ran out the door, got into my car, and called the police. As I sat in the interrogation room with a blanket over my shoulders, I couldn't help but think about the face I'd seen. It looked so familiar. That's when it finally hit me. I pulled out my phone and looked at Lunaire's profile picture. It was her old roommate, the one she said was moving to California. When the detective entered the room, she started the questioning process, asking me if I started noticing any weird behavioral occurrences around the apartment. Yeah, I stubbed my toe the other day and she creepily stood in the doorway. It seemed like she was pissed, but for some reason I had a strange feeling like she was concerned about something.
I mean, I would be pissed too. He in the middle of the night, stubbed his toe, and he started hollering. I'd have been dumb tight. I'd have woke up too.
She came out into the kitchen because she thought I slammed the freezer instead of the fridge.
Oh.
A cold sweat started to form on my forehead as my surroundings became blurred. I could hear a low whine slowly starting to cover up the words of concern from the detective. As my vision started to clear, I could see another officer enter the room and whisper something into her ear as he handed her a piece of paper. "Do you have somewhere you could stay at?" she asked. I mean, I was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town. Okay, she paused. Listen, I don't want to worry you, but we found this picture inside of your apartment. She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest.
Dang.
The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled on the wall in blood, read,
Love my
"Love my
roommates.
roommates.
Mm-mm.
All of them." Does this ever happen to you?
No.
You find out about an awesome show, so you grab your snacks, click on the video, and then you need NordVPN. If you haven't heard of NordVPN, you must be pretty new on YouTube, and that's okay. NordVPN is a virtual private network with over 5,000 servers all around the world.
Guess how much I
So
care?
no matter what you want.
Don't care. Don't care at all. Alright, so let me tell y'all something. I will never, ever, 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 ever have or need a roommate. Alright? Just by this video alone, as you can see, people in this world is crazy. How you gonna judge her based off of her profile picture and then be like, yeah, she seems nice, let me just let her in, you know. You'd even call her and ask her, you know, check her out, just, you know, sit her down, talk to her first, at least visualize who she is. This dude looked at her picture, she's blonde, and she, in her comments, she said, I love my roommates. That's it. And then he said, yeah, you welcome, come on, come through, live with me. Now she done kill her best friend, and she done kill her other friend, and now she finna kill him. This man is stupid. Now he gotta go live with his mama. Come on, bro. Oh my god, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's all white people do, though.
Hey! Gang, 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 gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Como te llama? Slim thick mama wanna.
Okay.
I can put you in designer. Come through, little mama. Hey, como te llama? Slim thick mama wanna.
Okay.
I can